Hi everyone, welcome. It's really good having you here. I thought this was a good time to, I'm making excuses. My last soap, the one that I was getting ready to release a video on, is still stuck in the mold. I'm working on it and it just needs another day or two. And I'd already started on another soap, so what I decided to do was suds test a few soaps. Some on time, some a little early, and I'll talk more about that. Now the first one is going to be the Rosemary Fantasy that I made using the dissolvable paper, and I really like how these turned out. But what's more interesting is how they react in water. But we'll talk about that in a moment. Then the second soap I'll be doing is the one that I called Rocky Start, which is made out of some of these that did not form properly. So I rolled them up and cut them up into these rods and then placed them on the side of the mold, creating the framed soap. And the links to all of these will be in that eye at the upper top of the screen. If you click that eye, you'll see links to the videos of the making of these soaps. The next one is the Coconut Pure that I made, and it's a very simple little soap, just coconut oil, goat milk, and lemongrass. Just smells fantastic. And then finally will be this is the one I'm doing a bit early, the I Love Texas. Not I love, but Olive Texas. It's the one that's made with olives, olive oil, and olive leaves. And it's only about 3 weeks old, but I'm going to go ahead and do it because I just felt like this was a good time to spend a little quiet time with the doing the suds test. And I just dropped pieces off of these in there, but it just seemed like a good time. I just felt like since the soaps are still sitting in the molds, this was a good time to do this because I do like to get something out there for you. Now the first one, and I had some great suggestions about this. This is dissolvable paper on here that I put into the mold and poured the soap on top of, and they really transferred beautifully on here. But as such, because it's dissolvable paper, the first, second, third time you use it, the flowers are going to fade off or wash off, but they will stain the soap a really interesting color, as you're about to see, because I had another fail, one of them that was damaged, that I used myself. And that's what happened. Matter of fact, let me get that for you, and I'll just, you'll see it happen here, so what's the point, right? But a few of you suggested maybe pouring some homemade melt and pour glycerin soap over it to protect it, and that's certainly something you could do. I could do making it, but this was just for fun. I just thought it would be interesting to try. So dropping it in the water, immediately the paper that is exposed to the water begins to dissolve a bit and fade out. But it's still kind of pretty. But if you rub on it, it's going to dissolve completely like so. That's just paper. It's completely harmless, doesn't stain your hands. The inks are food grade. But as you can see, it starts to fade. But anyway, we're here to do a suds test. So I'm just going to rub it all off. But again, you can see it does leave behind some staining, which I kind of think is cool. And it does color the water a bit, just as that food grade ink makes its way into the lather. But the rosemary is just wonderful in this. It's a good strong rosemary, which I really like in soap, I think. And it's obviously a very safe amount used, but it was at the maximum so that you could really get the rosemary, and that's what I really like. Suds up real nice. has a good staying power too, and that's due to castor oil. Castor oil does not cause bubbles, and I know there's some misinformation out there. Castor oil itself does not create bubbles, but it does help to stabilize the bubbles so they stay bubbles a little longer. All right, so next we're going to try the one made from this soap. At least that's what these are. These are, you know, the sides. And let's see what we end up with here. This one I can be a little rougher with, but you can see some of the ink from the dissolvable paper inside the actual soap. And again, very creamy, sudsy. That's the goat milk in this one. It's just wonderful. One of my favorites, of course, raising goats. I love goat milk. But again, you do get that ink a little bit from the dissolvable paper, but it does not stain. It is very easy to rinse off. It doesn't stain bathtubs, doesn't stain your washcloths. All right, the pure coconut oil, of course, this one's going to suds like crazy. I could change out the water here, but matter of fact, here, just for, let me rinse off here. There we go. So this is just the coconut oil. And as with all new soaps, you have to wash them a little bit or rinse them off a bit to get that film off the top before you get to the actual goodness of the soap. All right. Oh, it just feels so cleansing. That is one thing about the coconut milk, coconut oil, excuse me, which is why you have to super fat it so much, because it is very cleansing, not so moisturizing. So you always do want to super fat, either with more coconut oil or with another oil, generally 15 to 25%. And super fatting simply means adding more oil than the lye can actually saponify and turn into soap. So there is loose oil in your soap. Now that can, over time, create rancidity in soap. So generally, ones that are heavily super fatted, you want to use quicker than you do other soaps. The high pH of soap does help reduce or slow down rancidity with super high fatted soaps, but it can happen. I haven't had it happen in any of my soaps myself, but I use them. And I hope people are using them. But finally is the Olive Texas soap, which is made with Texas grown olives, olive leaves, and olive oil, all from right here. Rinse that with some clean water. And why am I doing this one early? It is so hard. The soap really got super hard, and I just thought, I want to see how it suds after 2 weeks. So that's what we're doing here. Oh wow, that's great. And again, this is the olive oil and the olive leaf and the actual olives in it, which you'll see it has darkened a bit from when I first made it. It's a much darker green now. And that happens with natural soaps with botanical ingredients in soaps. They do darken over time, some more so than others. But wow, what a nice creamy soap that is. That's those olives. And the smell of patchouli and cedarwood in this, that combination is sweet and delicious. I really enjoy it. So I hope you're all doing well. It is so sad watching the news that, yes, there is a reduction in new COVID cases in New York. That's fantastic. Unfortunately, a lot more people have died of those that are already infected, which is very sad. New areas are popping up in Texas and Pennsylvania, unfortunately, and I've stayed home most of the time. I rarely go out in public. I did go out about 3 days ago, which was, it's one of those trying things because I am one of those Americans in a high-risk group. So I do try to take care, and so far so good. But anyway, I wanted to just have a video, talk to you all a bit, share some time with you. I hope you enjoyed this. I sure like doing these. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. I really would appreciate a thumbs up if you haven't already given it. And if you want to hit that bell, you'll find out when new videos are uploaded. Like that soap that's sitting in the mold so long, which I hope to get out real soon. All right, everyone, have a fantastic day, and I'll see you back soon. Goodbye.